Welcome to Dragons in House. I'm George Maximov. I was wondering how should I start this? How do I start this journey of mine? With what subject? What theme? Should I be controversial? Should I put a bombastic title? Should I be provocative? This is going to be a space for my personal ramblings called Dragons in House, and with time I'll explain why I decided to call it like that. It's basically a place I can think out loud. It's not going to be about self-improvement. It's not going to be about 10 rules you need to follow to change yourself in your world. It's not going to make you better. If you ask me what is my mission, it will be hard for me to answer. I guess I don't have one. My goal will be to have conversations with interesting people and just to enjoy the process. I don't know the secret of a happy or fulfilled life. Truth be told, I don't think no one knows that. And rules are, I think, are for people who can follow, not lead. And I don't want to live by rules. A rule is just another name for a dogma, and my heart does not embrace absolutes. Essay means an attempt, an effort. And when you think about that, everything starts with a movement, with an effort, with a will that changes the complexion. T.S. Eliot writes that between the idea and the reality, between the motion and the act falls the shadow. It's an empty space full of possibilities, full of beginnings. The first essays written from Michel de Montaigne are an effort, and I quote, to record some traits of my character and of my humors. So I decided to start with the most logical thing for my first video here on this channel, and it is to talk about beginnings. And I gotta tell you, I had a tough time thinking about what to say, what to discuss. In my mind was constantly the whole Odysseus story and his return to Ithaca, but that's the most famous story about returning, not starting anew. And then I thought maybe it is about returning. You know, every journey starts with the first step, with a beginning, but I feel like I'm more returning to where I belong, to where I feel at home. And no, that's not social media or YouTube, because I don't have experience with that, but mainly returning to some sort of a freedom of expression not known in world history, a sort of coming back after a long sleep. Every beginning involves a first page, a road, a ladder, a coffee if you will, and this is mine. But instead of a backpack or a typewriter, I have my camera and the microphone. Goethe writes that in the beginning was the deed, and exactly this, in my opinion, is the nature of man: to create, to construct, to navigate an imperfect world. Every beginning needs fuel, and that fuel, that drive, is curiosity, endurance, patience, and why not, although I'm not a religious man, to throw like that French king a good prayer too. At the same time, every journey starts with fear and anxiety. Although fear implies physical danger, and sometimes that may be the case, I prefer that German word angst, that existential worry about something. Trust me, I know, truth be told, I feel that angst is embedded in all of us human beings. We are living in the best possible of all worlds, and still depression and sadness persist. Even if people are living in a golden world, they will complain that it's too yellow. The world is not sick, the world does not feel anything. We are the ones who must try to find a way to make peace with the world and ourselves. And for that, we need a beginning. Beginning that is ours and nobody else's. Human history teaches us that death and wars and sickness is part of that journey of the human species. But you know what else is part of that same journey? Family, happiness, love, charity. You know, I'm not a native speaker, and that gives me the opportunity to read the English language from another side, and charity is a beautiful word. It just sounds nice. Whoever invented it is a genius. Anyway, the chance to be Shakespeare is very big. A favorite word of mine is Tolkien's favorite, as far as I know, Celador. Sounds so magical. With this podcast, I will introduce you to interesting people, interesting ideas, stories, lives. But in the first episode of Dragons in House, I want to tell you a story, a tale about an ant. And that's an old Bosnian tale, as far as I know. Write me in the comments if you know more, please. It's a story about an ant traveling to the holy mountain on a holy road. A man approached her and asked her, "Where are you going? The road is long, the mountain is high, you will die before you get there." And the response from the ant was, "Yes, indeed, I will, but at least I will die on the holy road." Traveling with mind, with no limits, is worth more than arriving. Inspect your life, find your holy road, and start walking. It's tough, but that's the nature of any beginning. Like, subscribe, leave a comment if you will. I'm George Maximov. This was Dragons in House. See you next time, guys.